Hey guys, CharrChan here, and today's video is a Kigurumi Animegao sculpt. I spent half an hour sculpting this. It was just a quick one. This is not any particular character, it's just some random guy. If I was sculpting an actual character, it takes me a lot longer. I've sculpted, how many actual characters have I sculpted? For Kigu's I've done one fully original 3D sculpt. I've sculpted Psyche. I'm in the process of converting my Dralok fan figure that I've been sculpting into a Kigu. I've chopped his head off the 3D model and I'm modifying that into a mask. What else am I sculpting? Oh, I did start sculpting Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, but I couldn't get his mask right. So I've been sculpting a few actual characters. Sculpting an actual existing character is a lot more difficult in some ways, since you want it to be, you want it to have the likeness of the character. And what I've found is sculpting a very generic anime face, one that doesn't have a lot of stylization, is a lot more difficult than sculpting a really unique face. So for example, Dralok has a really unique face, so it was easier to sculpt because I could go, do these shapes look right? I go, yep, that's Dralok. Granted, my Dralok sculpt is a little bit more stylized than maybe it is in the manga anime. I think he's more on the anime scale of things, but he's still maybe a little bit more cartoony than is in the anime, you know? Anyway, and then compared to sculpting Psyche, I really struggled with Psyche. I spent a good few hours on Psyche. It's just because his face is so generic. It's just like an anime guy. But also, if it's not right, it doesn't look right. So it took me a long time to sculpt him. Whereas if I'm just sculpting some random guy like this one, it was a lot more easy because I could just go, does this look like a face? Yep, done. I did used to really struggle with sculpting anime faces in general. I mean, like anything, you practice, you get better, and you learn how to do it. But things I really struggled with were the planes of the face and the ears. Ears were the bane of my existence, I hated them. But I have I've figured out how to sculpt them, and now I can do that. Oh, by the way, if you want a tutorial on how to sculpt a Kigu like this, then go and watch my Kigurumi making sculpting tutorial, which I have linked in the description. Now, the mask that I sculpt in the tutorial is horrific, it's so ugly, but it gets the point across of how to use the tools and the programs. I'm using Sculptress and Meshmixer. I don't know if Sculptress is still available or not, so I'm not going to link either of the programs. You're gonna have to go out on your own to find those, but there's Google. You can Google search it. Yeah, I don't know if Sculptress is still available officially anymore, so good luck with that. Meshmixer I think is still out there, so should be fine. But yeah, 3 programs, sculpt a Kigu. You could also, wow, I got tongue tied there. You could also sculpt things like BJDs, ball jointed dolls, or anime figures. I'm sculpting a few anime figures currently. I'm sculpting Dralok. I have sculpted my original character Prince Lovebug and Merlin. Those are my original characters who I'm currently in the process of sculpting. Who else have I been sculpting? I tried to sculpt Gojo. Like I said, I do have his face sculpted, but I got stuck on the mask, so he's abandoned for now. Maybe I'll do him without the mask or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. What else? I have been trying to sculpt Ronaldo from The Vampire Dies in No Time, but I'm kind of struggling on that one, so we will see. Yeah, so I am sculpting quite a few little projects here and there. I have been getting a lot better at sculpting as well, which is really good. I mean, I've been practicing a lot, so and learning the techniques between using Sculptress and Meshmixer in combination has been really good. Ideally, it would be nice to do it all in one program, but I don't like using Meshmixer that much. It's a little bit more confusing than Sculptress. Sculptress is really simple, it's so easy to use, and that's why I like it. I would like to learn ZBrush, but again, that costs money and is really complicated. Blender, I did once try to learn when I was 13 or 15, I can't remember how old I was. I did sculpt something with it, but it wasn't very good. It's just too complicated. I'd rather stick with the 2 programs that I know how to use and just use them in my awkward, sort of not exactly great ways, but you know, it does the job. What else can I say? Well, I'm not really sure, we're almost at the end of the video and I don't have a clue what I just rambled about for ages. But yes, if you are curious about the process of making a mask from start to finish, I should have a video about that eventually when I get round to it. If you are curious, I sculpt the mask, get it 3D printed, spray it with a thick body primer, which you're gonna have to do a lot of layers and a lot of sanding, so much sanding. And then I paint it with spray paint and some chalk pastels to kind of correct the skin tone from neon orange down to like human skin tone instead of neon orange as it was out of the can. But yeah, that's just my very dumbed down quick explanation of how I made a Kigu the first time. And here's another Kigu that I've sculpted. Don't know what I'm going to do with this one, probably nothing, it's there. Maybe I can make it for download, maybe, I don't really know. I don't know, because I don't know if this will even print very well, so yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do not hit the like button, as that probably hurts, it's not very nice, so maybe shake his hand instead. With that being said, I hope to see you in the next one, and bye!